Hello everyone and welcome back to our Winter League Challenge 2 tournament here at Second Third Place in Pico Rivera, California. Welcoming you all into the stream once again. I am Jesus Coronel. That is William Franco. Here we have round 5 between Anthony Ascencia and Anthony Plasencia.
Yeah.
It's called not a tongue twister. And we have an interesting matchup here between the two Anthonys. Ascencia on the Coridon, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, Raging Bolt, Rillaboom, and the Farigiraf, while Anthony Plasencia on the Terapagos, Rillaboom, Clefairy, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Grimmsnarl, and Ceruledge.
You know what? I'm actually very excited for the matchup just based on the fact that, like, Coridon can a lot versus Anthony's team, Plasencia, Anthony Plasencia's team, but also the fact that Anthony Plasencia has Ceruledge is really going to mix things up here, because Ceruledge being Fire and Ghost going to be able to resist both of Coridon's attack. But on the lead here, we see Fluttermane and Chi-Yu up against... Wait.
Clefairy and Urshifu. Don't worry, that's just gonna get updated soon enough. But yeah, Anthony Plasencia on the Urshifu Clefairy, while Anthony on the Fluttermane Chi-Yu, which is a classic lead from Ascencia's end. And for Anthony Plasencia, you know, it's stable defensively, but I'm not sure if defensive is good enough here because both Fluttermane and Chi-Yu have spread moves.
Yeah, the spread moves are definitely put a threat against this Urshifu, who I assume underspeeds both, or probably outspeeds the Fluttermane until Coridon switches it out. Fluttermane is going to get the Photosynthesis boost, be able to outspeed here. I wonder what attack Anthony Ascencia is going to be going for.
I actually need to point out this to you because I actually played Anthony today, and it's a special attack booster that's going to be implemented on Fluttermane, revealing it's not trained to be as... I mean, it is trained to be fast, but it's holding a focus sash, so it's clearly, you know, offensive-minded here.
It's still not a bad play here, though, because in the sun, even though Urshifu is going for the Terra Water, it might still train to survive this Surging Strike. So we're going to see right now.
And it also looks like Anthony's Urshifu is faster than Anthony Ascencia's Fluttermane here, as you saw Anthony Plasencia's Urshifu Terra first, and here's the Fluttermane Terrastalizing second.
Okay. This is an interesting board state for sure. I want to see what both players lock in. Helping Hand, so this is something we did not consider. This might pick up the KO on the Fluttermane. It's
going to depend on where this goes, and yeah, it is going to the Fluttermane. There's that Choice Scarf on the Urshifu Rapid Strike from Anthony Plasencia coming into play here against this non-speed Photosynthesis Fluttermane, and takes it out in a single hit. Down goes Terastallization, and down goes a big piece of Anthony Ascencia's offense.
Yeah, Anthony Plasencia with the mastermind play, going for the Terra Water and the Helping Hand. Really smart, and it really makes you wonder, like, if you would have just stayed in with Chi-Yu and try to just get as much damage with Dark Pulse. But then Clefairy gets Follow Me next turn, so you're not going to be able to KO.
Yeah, that's right. That's honestly like what I think that would have happened there. Chi-Yu would have stayed in here, but now we see Anthony Ascencia's Farigiraf come into play now. So it's only attacks foul play, which is going to do a whole lot of damage to Urshifu, but there's also Follow Me redirection. There's also Friend Guard on the Clefairy, meaning it's Urshifu, even though it is using Terra Water Surging Strikes, its damage reduction in the sun might be pivotal enough to like maybe deter Urshifu to switch out this turn.
Yeah, for sure. Also, one thing to note, like Coridon not having charge, it's not going to be able to outspeed the Urshifu.
Okay, and we do see the Follow Me come out from this Clefairy, and yes, this is a non-flame charge Coridon here, as we're going to witness here, this he strikes in the sun.
That does nothing to Farigiraf. I respect that. That's a true soldier.
Yeah, that's how Surging Strikes is countered in the sun here. Coridon gonna go for the Breaking Swipe, avoids the Follow Me redirection, is gonna lower the attack side of Urshifu, but even though you got the Breaking Swipe off, you're not gonna do a whole lot of, you know, damage reduction because Surging Strikes does a critical hit through those attack drops.
Yeah.
But Psychic from Farigiraf goes into Clefairy and drops the special defense.
Now, I really love that play from Ascencia. Just mitigating the damage on that Urshifu just to allow the Farigiraf to survive maybe 2 more turns. We're going to see if they go for it again. No, Urshifu actually opting to switch out, reset its stats, and in comes the Grimmsnarl. So if they go for Breaking Swipe again, it's not going to be effective into either of these Pokemon, and the Protect coming out from the Clefairy just to possibly protect itself from the Farigiraf, and going for the Breaking Swipe play once again. Two Fairy types on the field going to completely ignore.
And this is Psychic coming after Farigiraf as well. Tried to hit the Urshifu, but unfortunately not as a Grimmsnarl. Psychic type moves don't work against Dark types. And all those Breaking Swipes from Koraidon is really showing for Anthony Ascencia that he truly believes the issue against Anthony Plasencia's team is that Urshifu, and he doesn't want to launch the Collision Course or Flare Blitz because of the threat to follow me.
Now you're fighting an uphill battle here because this is a free screen from the just being able to go for a light screen or a reflect, mitigating the damage even further, allowing the Urshifu, the back, to survive hits.
Yeah, here goes Chi-Yu to come in place to that Koraidon just in case. It takes a hit from Spirit Break, because Spirit Break is quite effective against that Koraidon now that it no longer against Terastallize. And that was coming out into this Chi-Yu. It's going to do half damage, and that's also going to reveal a Covert Cloak because it did not take a special attack drop. Clefairy takes another Psychic, survives again, but takes another special defense drop, but that might not be enough.
That is a Covert Cloak on the Chi-Yu. Wow. Cool tech. I like that.
It's like here and there on Chi-Yu, depending on how they feel about it.
You see, like, mostly like Sash or Scarf. You rarely see Specs or, in this case, the Covert Cloak. I really like that, but in this certain situation, it's definitely not the best for Ascencia, because, like I said, the last turn, you still do have the Prankster screens available, but instead of going for the screen, Anthony Plasencia actually deciding to attack. The Chi-Yu is going to double connect, but it's only going to do 50% to the Grimmsnarl, and
ooh, down goes to the Spirit Break, unfortunately. Anthony Ascencia now down to Koraidon and Farigiraf. I think the Sun might reset this turn as Psychic goes into the Protect of the Clefairy once again.
I wonder...
And keep in mind, that was... the damage that the Grimmsnarl took was from the Sun, and it was with the Friend Guard.
Yeah.
And beat the Ruin.
Friend Guard is broken.
Yeah, and more importantly, Koraidon does come back here and reactivates Orichalcum Compulse.
Okay. Yes, it does. Orichalcum Compulse going to make the Sunlight come back out. But at this point, what can you really against your opponent who has Friend Guard as well as screens and two more Pokemon in the back? One
of them being a Terrawater Urshifu.
Yeah.
Koraidon going to protect and make sure it doesn't get one hit KO by Spirit Break this turn. Farigiraf probably going to go for another Psychic again onto the Clefairy, and Anthony Plasencia is content to knocking out his own Clefairy for redirection purposes. As Grimmsnarl once again goes for Spirit Break onto the Koraidon. It's interesting that Anthony's valuing KOing Koraidon rather than the screens, and it doesn't make sense overall, because right now you don't really need the screens to do much of anything.
No, he is not. He doesn't feel any danger at all from this board state from Ascencia. One thing though is this Urshifu probably gonna make an appearance here.
Oh no, it's Anthony's last Pokemon, and it's a Ceruledge.
I was saying, when you have Collision Course and Flare Blitz, you're not going to be able to do big damage on some Ceruledge. Now is the Breaking Swipe, which feels really bad to go for it here because Grimmsnarl is on field.
Not only that, well, first of all, Electabuzz is on the screen, unfortunately, so we have to talk about the Ceruledge real quick. So, the reason why it walls a Koraidon, because, well, obviously it's Ghost type, so Collision Course can hit it. Flash Fire means it's going to boost up its Fire type attacks and be immune to them. Reflect goes up, just in case Breaking Swipe goes up, but even if Breaking Swipe goes up, the Ceruledge has a Clear Amulet.
And the Foul Play.
Oh, but Flare Blitz goes into the Grimmsnarl, so going to knock it out just before Grimmsnarl could do any more screen work.
Yeah, but that Reflect is going to pay dividends here for the Ceruledge.
Who goes for the Bitter Blade, Sun boosted into the Farigiraf. It's not enough to knock it out. And that's just going to activate the Citrus Berry for Farigiraf, but who knows if it's out of range of taking another Bitter Blade, and I think it is still in Bitter Blade range. Foul Play into the Ceruledge.
It still does have, even with the Reflect. Actually very dangerous here for Anthony, but I do think that the Urshifu should be able to close it out. Actually,
close combat definitely knocks out the Farigiraf. It's more so like, can Anthony deal with the Koraidon? Because, again, you're left to wait for Breaking Swipes, which, not a bad move into both of these physical attackers. Although, if you're Ceruledge, it's not going to matter. Although, depends on how much damage that Ceruledge takes.
Oh, like you prioritize here? I think Koraidon is definitely threatening, but with the close combat, I doubt you pick it up. So, will opt to go into the Farigiraf, KO it with the close combat, takes a -1 on defense and special defense, and we're gonna see who Ascencia targets into.
Yeah, I figured it would be another breaking swipe coming out, and that's actually Sarah Legend's range for another breaking swipe, unless of course Bitter Blade came out, which is going to resist thanks to that dragon typing, but it's still going to recover half HP. And depending on how much damage Koraidon takes from a -1 close combat, who knows where this game is going. And
yeah, I'm wondering if the double up is going to be able to KO the Koraidon, because if not, and the Urshifu goes down here, I think... Do you breaking swipe twice?
That is the play here. Urshifu going to go for a -1 close combat. It's not enough to knock out the Koraidon. I still think that might be Bitter Blade range from that Sarah Ledge, as Urshifu's defenses dropped to a -2 state.
Breaking swipe crit?
No KOs either, so it's not going to matter. Urshifu hangs on. Anthony Plasencia going to go ahead and click Shadow Claw. We're not going to take the chances on the Bitter Blade, and Anthony Plasencia wins game number 1.
I like that play. Shadow Claw has a percentage chance to crit. So that was really smart, and game 1 going to Anthony Ascencia.
And going back to the whole Koraidon thing, Koraidon's reliant on the sun and can hit all of his Anthony's Pokemon, for a great amount of damage, except against the Sarah Ledge, where you're left clicking for
breaking swipe,
yeah, for breaking swipe, which is a neat tech because it's the same thing with the Miraidon concept. Miraidon notable weakness is the lack of a coverage spread move. Resorts to Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam, or Terra Electric Discharge. Yeah. Koraidon doesn't really have the same luxury because breaking swipe's serviceable, but it's only a supporting tool.
So now I'm wondering, Anthony, you know that your opponent brought double fairy to the last game.
Oh yeah, Anthony Plasencia didn't even bring the Terapagos that game.
No, they did not, and I kind of agree with that, just based off of the offense that is on Anthony. You do have to respect that sheer amount of damage. You don't really have time to set up. This is a Covert Cloak, Terapagos with Calm Mind and Substitute, so you don't really have the time to be going for sub or to be going for Calm Mind. So
yeah, we see
well again. Played, and gonna stick with the same lead. If it's broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the adjustment this time around, we did not see the Rillaboom last game.
And now, not only that, Koraidon's in a much better position this time because now Anthony Ascencia doesn't have to worry about helping hand Terra Water or Surgery Strikes knocking out a Flutter Mane since it's not even here.
I like this play.
If you may so explain.
I like this play very much because the Urshifu has Terra Water.
And it has to switch out.
It forces the switch out on the Urshifu into the Sarah Ledge. So they're not going to take damage from the fake out. But just that one turn of pivoting. Wait, is it Flash Fire?
Yeah, it is Flash Fire.
Oh no, that was a smart play.
Well, Clefairy also protects to make sure the fake out wouldn't even work either way, so it's going to go straight into the Sarah Ledge. And Flare Blitz, where did this go? Into the Protect.
Okay.
So no Flash Fire boost just yet for the Sarah Ledge, but now Sarah Ledge is in a great position.
Yeah, Sarah Ledge is in a great... Makes you wonder now, you want to give it the last game, not tearing right on, made it really susceptible to the double fairy core. But in this situation, you have to worry about what's in front of you. The Ceruledge. It threatens big damage.
Yeah, and most Koraidon Terras are Terra Fire. We see this one in the open TG as Terra Fire, so it will be resisted to Bitter Blade no matter what, but it's still going to take neutral damage from Shadow Claw, so I think this is a pretty safe turn for Anthony to go for Follow Me Bulk Up. Either that or Life Dew.
I'm wondering.
And the Koraidon going to switch out from Anthony Ascencia side into that Farigiraf slot, just to make sure it doesn't get hit by Shadow Claw into that slot, which is very possible it could be happening.
That's a smart play. You know what?
And, okay, Anthony Plasencia going to switch up to Clefairy, so Frengar's going to be turned off, but in comes the Urshifu again. Oh!
Into that slot!
Down goes to a single hit from Woodhammer from Anthony Ascencia's Rillaboom.
And now, we don't know if Anthony has Terapagos in the back, but that is your main source of damage. Now, the Ceruledge does go for the bulk up, like you said, but we did not see Follow Me. They're swapping into the Urshifu, probably expecting them to respect the Ceruledge.
Yeah, but at the same time, this makes Sarah Ledge a lot more dangerous. +1 Bitter Blade and Sun, that's going to do a lot of damage, and Clefairy comes back in for the Fallen Urshifu.
And now Anthony Ascencia does have on 4 Mons to 3, but this is not a bad board state here for Anthony Plasencia. You see a Terra come out from Ascencia's
Rillaboom, which is going to make it into a fire type, meaning it's now resistant to Bitter Blade.
Yes. It is resistant to Bitter Blade, but I am still a little worried about the Shadow Claw with +1 attack.
Yeah, and now we get to see that turn point out. We see Clefairy just go ahead and redirecting this Woodhammer away from the Cerulege, potentially. Wow. It hangs on, a red sliver of health, just barely. Bitter Blade goes into the Farigiraf at +1 in the stun. It is not enough to one-hit KO it.
Citrus Berry comes out, but we did see one Bitter Blade in the sun did about 80% damage. Foul Play coming out, it's not enough to do any damage to Clefairy. Clefairy has a really low attack stat.
Yeah, and the EV Light's holding as well is going to help that cause as well.
Yeah,
and
it's probably in attack stat as well.
It potentially could be, and now I think Anthony Ascencia is in a weird spot because you want to get Rillaboom into a position where you can start doing damage towards everything that Anthony Plasencia has, but as long as Clefairy's protecting, you kind of just can't do that.
Yeah, that's a really smart play. And in this case, opting for U-turn instead of the high horsepower, so this Rillaboom has no way to do meaningful damage.
And Bitter Blade knocks out the Farigiraf.
And when the Cerulege is just moving after you and hitting your partner next to you and healing up its damage, there's no reason to go into the Cerulege. So really good board state here from Anthony Plasencia, and the adjustment that we did not see before, this time bringing the Raging Bolt, which I do agree with. I think the Raging Bolt is going to do a lot, but when your opponent already is at +1 attack, it's kind of hard to like position your Raging Bolt correctly.
And we did see the last turn from Anthony Ascencia that he tried to go for the Grassy Glide onto Anthony Plasencia's Clefairy with the Grassy 3 recovery and the E-Bite. I do not know if Grassy Glide is enough to knock out the Clefairy here.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't knock out the Clefairy, that means this Raging Bolt is going to have to resort to either going for a non-effective Snarl.
Also, one thing to consider here, you cannot go for Draco because there's Follow Me. If you KO the Clefairy here and try to Draco next
That's
turn...
not a Draco.
Oh, it's Dragon Pulse.
But we do see Ascencia going to go ahead and click the Thunderbolt, it looks like, and we're going to see Follow Me once again come out from Anthony Plasencia's Clefairy. Rillaboom does go for the U-turn, but because it's a Falling Side move, it's not very effective to the Clefairy, it's going to do very minimal damage, and that means whatever... So, and also, it just means that Raging Bolt's Thunderbolt's going to get redirected into the Clefairy as Koraidon gets swapped in.
Yeah. And Koraidon swaps in here. Raging Bolt does not have Protect, is going to eat the Shadow Claw. No crit this time, does about 45%.
And the Thunderbolt knocks out the Clefairy, but Grassy Terrain runs out this turn, as does the Ori Calcum Pulse.
Let's go, Arnie.
That was so random.
Let's go, the homie just made top cut, love that.
Alright, okay, so we do see the sun run out, we grab the Synthesis, wears off on the Raging Bolt, and the Grassy Terrain's going as well. And the last Pokemon from Anthony's side is that Grimmsnarl.
Grimmsnarl, okay, so not... Oh, actually, this is the perfect last Pokemon. You have
2 dragons.
Your opponent already terrestrialized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're both susceptible to Spirit Break now.
Spirit Break, that's 4 times super effective against the Koraidon, and it's going to work wonders against the Raging Bolt, who is a special attacker.
Yeah. Now this is just Anthony playing at his best. You know, we saw Chandelure in the past format of Regulation G, be a great answer to things like Zamazenta and Koraidon, but maybe Cerulege is up there.
I think that's something that people, like, one, they don't prep for, and then also their team compositions cannot handle every single matchup, and I feel like Ghost Fire types kind of like sneak their way into the club, like, yo, I'm still here, guys, like, haha, I'm a good mom still.
Okay, Shadow Claw does not knock out the Raging Bolt here, unfortunately, and Spirit Break will pick it up just after the Raging Bolt goes for Thunderbolt and doing just under half to the Cerulege. And now, I believe Anthony's still in a great spot because, well, you're fine clicking Shadow Claw into everything.
Yeah.
And so, like, even if Anthony Ascencia does fake out the Grimmsnarl, you're still left to deal with this Koraidon, which it's already really getting out of hand.
Now I'm wondering if you go for like a screen. There's multiple plays you can go for. You can go for a screen, you can go for a Spirit Break, or you can go for a Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave being probably the worst option to go for just because it can min.
Anthony's going to try to terrestrialize one of these two Pokemon. I know one of these two Terras just Surge to water, and it's going to be that Grimmsnarl instead to dodge the fake out from this Terra Ghost Grimmsnarl should Anthony and Ascencia go for it.
Expertly played, and I think this Grimmsnarl...
Oh, Flare Blitz into the Grimmsnarl! Okay, does hold on.
Oh, wow.
So no fake out comes out, so that was a Terra that was not really used well. Doubles up into the Grimmsnarl with the Woodhammer, knocks it out in succession. It is now an Urshifu versus Urshifu and Saraludge versus Koraidon and Rillaboom.
Okay, yeah, you do have two Pokemon to your opponent's one. How do you deal with a +1 defense Saraludge?
Well, you got a Bitter Blade to help back, and that's a lot of damage to the Koraidon. It's just taking a lot from the Flare Blitz and the Bitter Blade combination. How much health? It gets back to near 80%.
Actually, this is a pretty close endgame, if I'm being honest. A crit here could be big. I'm not sure. Do you go for...
Oh wait, Urshifu's gone. I forgot about that.
Urshifu's gone. This is the last Pokemon. Do you go for the Breaking Swipe, hope that you survive another one?
I think that's his only option because, again, Koraidon can't touch the Saraludge.
Yeah. So you gotta go for the Breaking Swipe here, and...
Protect comes out. It's gonna get some more grassy terrain recovery.
Smart. But also allowing Koraidon to get even more grassy terrain recovery, and you're stalling out the sun that you desperately need. You can go for Shadow Claw later, but right now you want to get that recovery from the Bitter Blade. Alright, 57 to 68. I didn't see how much Bitter Blade did last one. Maybe like 60?
Yeah, it over 60%. It's 2 turns left of each terrain and letter, so there's not a lot of time to waste if you're Anthony Ascencia, and Anthony Plasencia can just quick protect the next turn.
Scary. If they targeted into the Rillaboom, this could be a really scary turn, but if they target into Koraidon, it gives a little bit of momentum.
Here's a Woodhammer, a +1 attack against this +1 defense. +1 defense on the Saraludge.
Still, that did a lot of damage.
Bitter Blade into the protect.
Really smart play. Now, back in the run for things, I think, one, getting more grassy terrain recovery here is great, but also Breaking Swipe next turn will lower at. We already seen Woodhammer.
The Clear Amulet is not going to prevent the attack drop.
It is Clear Amulet.
So it's going to be taking a Breaking Swipe. It's going to take a Woodhammer in succession. It's enough for the knockout. We're going to game 3.
Oh my gosh. The way that Anthony Ascencia played his outs to make sure this goes into a game 3. I'm sure with that start from Anthony Plasencia, I'm sure he thought he would. It was really dominating in that first, those first couple turns.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you, just because you have the perfect counter to every Pokemon, sometimes you can just find your way around what was presented to you. And Anthony Ascencia found the Saraludge to be pretty much of a problem, but eventually he was able to work around the Clefairy, the Grimmsnarl, and the Urshifu, and made his way into the game 3 victory. And now this is going to be interesting because, again, we've seen from 2 games in a row, the same 4 Pokemon from Anthony, leaving behind the Terrapagos. Meanwhile, Anthony Ascencia has been content, bringing in the dragons in front of the fairies. Sort of required, but, not the worst thing to happen.
Yeah, no fear whatsoever. My dragons do not care about fairy. This is the fairy check. Do you have a fairy?
Well, there's 3 here on the board.
Yeah, you passed the fairy check. Alright, y'all. This is going to be a exhilarating final game for this final round of Swiss. One of these 2 trainers will advance into the top cut, and it's a pretty hefty top cut, I will say that.
Alright, we see the weeds here. Oh, Anthony's going to switch up the order of things in terms of order of operations. We're going to see Anthony Ascencia with the same lead of Koraidon and the Rillaboom. Anthony Plasencia content with just leading the Saraludge this time with the Grimmsnarl.
Now, this is an interesting board state here because we know Grimmsnarl has Terra Ghost.
But the last time I tried to go for it, it did not see a fake out from Ascencia.
Exactly. So does your opponent respect you enough to not go for the fake out, or will they go for it? Is the question here.
And that's a hard question to ask because Saraludge is once again in a pretty good position to go for bulk up, but at the same time, it's going to take a lot of damage from a grassy terrain boosted Woodhammer with the Miracle Seed is holding. Yeah, it is a Terra from Anthony Plasencia, and it's going to be the Grimmsnarl Ghost again.
Oh no! And I don't know. of course, you have to respect fake out. But when you saw your opponent didn't go for it before,
it didn't go for it again, but at least it gets to reflect off unscathed, so that's one part of the positive for Anthony Plasencia here. Flare Blitz goes into the Grimsnarl once again. It's going to take half damage, somewhere around the same damage it took, but it's a little bit better thanks to Reflect that it was set up by Anthony Plasencia. But Grimsnarl going to go down to it. Once again, a combination of Flare Blitz with Woodhammer.
So Grimsnarl did its job. It got the Reflect up, but it does feel bad losing the Grimsnarl when it was so powerful against the Koraidon. Now, bulk up coming out here from the Cerulege, allowing it to 1, do more damage, and 2, on top of the Reflect, be big.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty physically bulky now.
That's a chunky Cerulege.
And he's going to be even more chunkier with the Quick Fairy coming in.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So this is something that worked wonders for Anthony Plasencia in that game 1. Like, 1, you can't touch me because of follow me, and 2, I am thick. With 2 C's.
I'm losing it over here. Okay, I'm trying to look at the situation and think to. Well, Cerulege, I'm pretty sure if Bitter Blade safe to go for a Gorilla Moon if you don't force the Terra Fire onto it. But Barry either has to click Life Do or click Follow Me, or just click Helping Hand. So it's going to try to knock out the Gorilla Moon, I think, or go for a Shadow Claw into the Koraidon if my best serves me. Koraidon going to go for the Breaking Swipe, not going to affect the Clefairy. It's going to hit the Cerulege. Thanks for the Reflect. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage. U-turn goes up into the Cerulege.
Hey, that's some good damage. That's damage, alright? Don't say it's not any. It's some damage.
It is, but it's not the damage you wish to see, because again, there's a Reflect, there's a plus with defense, and a Friend Guard.
Yeah, it's all my friends, the power of friendship.
And here comes Raging Bolt in the U-turn from the Rillaboom. So it's going to get that special attack booster once again. Bitter Blade goes into the Koraidon with the Helping Hand boost.
Oh,
not enough!
Oh no, what'd I just see? Why did that do so much damage?
It's in the sun, it's +1.
Oh my goodness.
And Helping Hand.
Let's see here. Clefairy does have Life Do. That is an option.
Except both of your Pokemon are full HP, so I don't think it's really the best thing to be going for.
No, not right now, but later.
I think it's more likely Anthony clicks Follow Me in case of Thunderclap.
Yeah, for sure.
As we see here from Anthony Plasencia's Clefairy. Now, time to see what Anthony Ascencia does here in this turn. It's going to be a Flare Blitz come out from this Koraidon. With the Reflect, doesn't even do half.
Yeah. And previously we've seen Flare Blitz in the sun without Reflect did like me. So like a 30% damage mitigation from Reflect.
That's actually a lot of damage from Snarl onto the Cerulege. So against Clefairy under 50% HP, but it's going to get back to 50% above with the grassy terrain. And, well, that's one way to get around Follow Me.
Yeah, definitely. You got 2 spread moves. You just gotta hope a crit could help out. Scary.
It's doing consistent damage, especially with the booster, with the photosynthesis special attack boost that Ascencia's Raging Bolt's getting here. And here's a Breaking Swipe into the Cerulege again, not doing a whole lot of damage with those multipliers. Bitter Blade coming out into the Raging Bolt, not doing enough to put it into the red, unfortunately. It will get some HP back. That's actually a lot of HP back.
A lot of HP. Now, we do have a Thunderbolt boosted by the sun. It still only does about half. And I was telling you previously, Life Do, you know your opponent is going for spread moves, might as well throw it in. Now you got a topped off health bar on that Cerulege.
And all of Anthony Ascencia's Pokemon is dwindling down in health.
Yeah. Now you're in a position where you're like, do I keep playing it out? We saw in that game too, even though Anthony Ascencia was in a very bad position, was able to fight their way out. This one though, gonna be a lot more difficult with Farigiraf and Rillaboom in the back. Both of them are not huge fans of getting hit with the Bitter Blade.
No, they're not. And not only that, I don't think anything wants to take Bitter Blade anymore because Rillaboom's taking it super effective without a Terra.
Yeah.
Koraidon and Raging Bolt are in range. And we know Farigiraf cannot take 2.
No.
This Cerulege is in prime position to just take over this game. Anthony going to switch out of Koraidon into the Farigiraf.
Do you just bulk up again? And Life Do?
No, another Bitter Blade comes out. It goes into the Koraidon slot. Farigiraf once again barely takes it rather uncomfortable first Bitter Blade, putting Cerulege back to full HP. Activates the Citrus Berry from the Farigiraf, but it's still in range of Bitter Blade.
I was wondering, like, do you follow me and bulk up one more time?
There's a Thunderbolt into the Sterile Edge, just under half, and another Life Dew comes out.
Yeah.
That's a lot of HP recovery. And the sun's gone, so good timing for the Koraidon to get out of the situation, but not exactly where it wants to be.
No. They will recover less HP, though, from the Bitter Blade. Grassy Terrain is gone now. And you kind of feel bad bringing the Rillaboom because you allowed your opponent to also get another form of HP recovery.
That's a give or take trade with the Rillaboom, you know. You get HP recovery to everything in the field, but it's just like you're using Rillaboom, you know, as utility. You Grassy Glide priority. You also got boosted Woodhammer.
Yeah.
Woodhammer did wonders game 2, and now Rillaboom's not in a position to get into the board state with that Woodhammer. We see another Clefairy helping hand from Anthony Plasencia. It's just going to make sure the Farigiraf slot's going down.
Yeah, really smart play, helping hand. Ceruledge also moving first before the Raging Bolt and the Farigiraf. Just no protects, free damage.
I don't think any of these Pokemon have Protect, as a matter of fact. You know, this is an Assault Vest Raging Bolt. That's doing less damage to Ceruledge, makes it a photosynthesis being lost.
Koraidon, Chi-Yu, Flutter.
They all have Protect.
Yeah.
And because Rillaboom, it's got to come in here because it's your best chance to get a Woodhammer off into either of these slots. But here's your problem. Even with the Grassy Terrain being reset and the Miracle Seed that the Rillaboom is holding, I don't think it's doing enough damage to knock out either of these Pokemon.
No.
Especially with Reflect still having a turn.
Yeah. No, it won't even be able to KO the Clefairy.
Yeah, exactly. It won't even do that.
Alright, opting to swap it out, actually.
Well, at this point, I think Anthony Ascencia is running out of options. She's got to get aggressive here.
You gotta go for the aggressive play.
Here comes Koraidon once again to reset the Ori Capcom Pulse Sunlight. And gonna give that Raging Bolt Photosynthesis. And as we saw in the stream, there's gonna be a Terra Electric coming out from this Raging Bolt. And its last gas gotta be that Photosynthesis Terra Electric boosted Thunderclap.
Let's see it.
The only way this has snuffed out and blanked is if Clefairy goes for Follow Me. What we've seen in the previous couple turns, it has opted not to go for Follow Me.
Let's see. Is your opponent good?
Oh my god, that is such a question to be asking. No, Follow Me!
Does it crit?
I don't think it's going to KO the Ceruledge, unfortunately. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, crit was needed there. Shadow Claw going into the Electro Furia.
And Raging Bolt unfortunately falls even after the Thunderclap, and I think that's another Life Dew coming out from the Clefairy.
Just to make sure, you never know.
Yeah, another Life Dew comes out, so Anthony Plasencia.
We're Life Dew guys. Of course we go for a second Life Dew.
Of course you do. And here's another recovery from the Ceruledge from this Life Dew, now getting Grassy Terrain as well. It's going to go near half HP, and now I think the game is essentially over because you just Bitter Blade everything to crisps.
Yeah. Using the Terra on the Raging Bolt is not good because now your Rillaboom is going to get O-Code. You could go for the Breaking Swipe, but Follow Me should do it here. No, actually going for Protect, possibly another Life Dew.
Double Protect, actually, so it prevents a fake out, just in case.
Double Protect. Not bad.
Breaking Swipe did come out from the Koraidon.
But they did not go for it.
Yeah, fake out seems to be fake. Let's be honest.
It is a fake out. I'm faking you out.
Alright, where does Woodhammer even go? It goes out to the Ceruledge.
Fake out is like a pump fake. You know what I mean? Like, no, I got you. Can't move next turn. We can't move this turn.
And now Ceruledge goes over 50% HP here. Reflect's finally gone from Anthony's side.
Yeah.
You know, that Light Clay really did wonders for that Reflect, and it allowed Anthony to do this much bulk. Koraidon going to protect just to make sure the Bitter Blade or Shadow Claw doesn't go into the Koraidon sub. But I have a feeling.
I think you always target the Rillaboom here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, William. That was exactly what I was thinking. Follow Me comes out here. Rillaboom going for the Woodhammer. Doesn't even knock out the Clefairy. No, it does not.
That does a lot of damage, though. Wow.
Does not do enough damage, and there's the Bitter Blade into the Rillaboom. Down it goes in a single hit, and that Ceruledge probably going back to full HP.
The MVP for this set has been the Ceruledge. From the beginning to the end, it has always been Ceruledge.
Yeah, who needs a restricted Pokemon? Who needs a restricted Pokemon when you have your own restricted Pokemon in Ceruledge?
Yeah. Very true.
And that's it. Anthony Plasencia going to go ahead and defeat Anthony Ascencia 2-1, which moves Plasencia up to 4-1 and guarantees top cut. Ascencia now has to await a date with fate with a 3-2 bubble incoming.
The battle of the Anthonys has concluded. And I will say it was a very good battle. Is that why you picked it? You made it so difficult for us.
Oh my god.
It was good practice though. Anthony Plasencia and Anthony Ascencia, both really strong trainers, but only one can be triumphant in the end.
Yeah, and not only that, only one of them might end up being top cut.
One of them is Tony, and one of them is Anthony.
Oh my god, what a comedic act. Anyway, that's enough time for us in round number 5. We'll be right back for Top Cut in Winter Challenge number 2 coming up after this break.
Don't go anywhere.